After we had the health inspection on board and cleared in, we had to get the cruising permit. The cruising permit is in local language, so we could show it in the villages. As we didn't have Fiji dollars when we arrived, we have to go to the hospital to pay our health inspection. The hospital is right ahead. The health inspection team does not only inspect yachts, they also inspect restaurants, hotels, etc. After that, we go to the historic downtown. Levuka was Fiji's first capital. It's a short rest in Levuka, and we head on soon to meet Marian in the Kandavu Islands. The wind is still blowing strong, so we make good speed. On the way we discussed the approach for Sevu Sevu, the welcome ceremony.
Ja, ik glaube, man muss dann, sobald man aufrutscht, muss man gehen.
Yep. As soon as you drop anchor, you basically walk over to the village chief and ask him for permission to rest there. We reach the Kandavu Islands early in the morning. We wake up Marian's crew by calling on the radio and soon drop the anchor. Of course we go snorkeling the next day. No whale songs here, but nice canyons and very good visibility. We see many small fish, but not too many big fish, so there are also no sharks around here. Seeing sharks is a good sign, as it indicates that there is a lot of fish. So we move on to Kavala Bay. With its mangroves and all the hills covered in forest, this anchorage has a very distinct feel. We start our day walk at the local shop. The shop has its own dock. From there we hike to a waterfall. But we end up at the school by accident. Walking along the road, we notice it's the same as home. Everybody using their cell phones. Soon we are at the home of the family that owns the waterfall. Guess what we have to do? Sevu Sevu. Good thing is, one of their sons brings us to the waterfall. It's very tropical, humid and hot. We're glad to reach the cooling waterfall. And even better, our guide shows us how to jump from the cliffs. We climb higher, step by step. The water is fresh and clean. These guys wouldn't be in here otherwise. On the way back, we learn some more about the fruits and vegetation here. We notice a few cocoa beans, and Justin gets us a drink.
Sneak around. Yeah. Sorry.
The green coconuts are good to drink. The brown, older ones that you find on the floor, they are good to eat. After a few coconut drinks, we are back on the way.
Like this?
with all the clouds and the forest, it feels a bit like along the BC coastline. However, instead of salmon, we have tuna. The next day we head out to a pass in the reef. We hired a local boat. The pass through the astrolabe reef would have been too far away with our dinghies. These drop-offs at the passes are always spectacular. Fiji is famous for its soft coral, but despite this being a nature park now, we don't see big fish. We only see 2 white tips. We hang out with our local guides for the whole day. Then it's back to our boats and off to new anchorages. We are going straight into the astrolabe reef. Under sail, we go through a pass in the corals. Within the reef, we keep a good lookout for boats. We are approaching an anchorage in the north of the Canals. There is also a luxury resort. It's just below the cell phone antenna, and we are 4G internet. With the resort comes some noise. Or you could say some entertainment. The last time we had seen this was in British Columbia. The plane stayed there for a few hours. We stayed there for a few days. Partly to use the internet, partly to explore the reefs and islands. And yeah, also to do some boat work. Jade Akka's mid-bilge is so big I can easily repair electronics down there. After working besides the fridge and the water maker, it's time for a great sunset. I worked on a job offer, but in the meantime the food ran low, so we decided to go to Suva. We sneaked into the harbor behind a big freighter.
Willkommen in Suva. Bessere Gebäude haben wir schon lange nicht mehr gesehen.
We haven't been in a town with these buildings for a time, so it's also time for a garbage run. We are heading to the Royal Suva Yacht Club. The yacht club is the base for cruisers. There we also meet Dejan. Dejan is the board engineer on this tall ship. After a tour around Picton Castle, we head out again.
Bye bye Suva.
We relaxed in a spa. We bought a lot of veggies. We are ready to go on. Having a close look at the navigation aids, we sail out of the narrow channel, past the Grand Pacific Hotel where we had a nice drink. The many wrecks reminded us to navigate carefully. Beating upwind in 20 to 30 knots, we closely missed this vessel. As soon as traffic and geography allowed, we settled into cruising mode. One on watch, one on rest. Even though we beat upwind, it's still comfortable. We make good progress heading away from the coast. Then we tack and follow the coastline towards the north. We will be passing Levuka in the evening.
Wieder mal Jade Akka, schön Wettersailing.
And in dusk we see some lights approaching us. The vessel doesn't show an AIS signal, so we have to guess in which direction to stay clear. We pass it closer than desired. Probably these vessels don't want to get tracked, so they switch off their AIS whenever possible. We make it through 2 passes during the night, and in the morning we are in Blay waters. The wind has picked up a little bit. The waves are considerable, but it's still comfortable to sail on Jade Akka. As we approach the Azores, the wind picks up to 35 knots. ...170 miles in under 24 hours through 2 narrow reef passages, sailing at maximum wind angles. We are exhausted and looking forward to a nice anchorage. But first we have to fillet the mahi-mahi in these conditions. Once in the calm anchorage, we head to the village for Suva. We take the opportunity to also explore the turquoise lagoon, and of course an oak lagoon. The day after that, we had for a walk. Back to the village, through the school and up the hill.
Also los geht's.
The soil is very dry. Trees are rare. It's a spectacular scenery. A little bit farther and we enjoy the wind, the sun and the beautiful view from the top. Soon we head back to do the boat work planned for today. The school area is super nice kept and beautifully decorated. On the way, we check out the local gardens. They plant cassava, banana, papaya, whatever they need. Finally, we are back at the village, and off it goes, back to Jade Akka.
Jo, mach ich.
Time for a jump after some maintenance.